Hello, hello, hello. Let me just check out if everything works, if we're live. It says that the stream is excellent. I still don't see anything. Let me just hear it. I guess my voice is a bit muffled, or is it just me? Just a second. If I listen to the stream right now, just a tiny bit. Maybe I have to have the microphone a bit closer. Okay, it's much closer now. Let me hear it again. Yeah. Yo, dude, thanks for the valuable feedback. I've read it on the Steam as well. You told me that you also wrote feedback on the Steam and in the YouTube comments, so definitely some improvements will come. Most of the thing that I really agree on is that the cartridges should give you some benefits already in the beginning. So for the, I don't know, like let's say like the HP boost and so on. First level would give you 10, but just by the passive, just by having it equipped, I would give you already 5 HP. And maybe same for the dash one. And so on. I'll work on this. Not today yet, because today I really want to try to wrap up the journal, and recipes been wrapped up, journal has to be wrapped up, and the logs. So I have to look at that model again. And then when I'm done with that, I want to add some of the items that will provide you energy regen. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it with the cartridge. So for example, if you would have a cartridge and you level it up, you would get 1 HP regen per second. Or I'm gonna also add some recipes. Because currently I have one item that kind of generates health over time. I could give you the same one that regenerates energy over time. So that'd be cool, and the recipe shouldn't be too hard. And regarding the selling stuff, yeah, I'll include that. But basically, every item, if it has 100% value, you know, for example, if an iron sword costs 200 gold, if you're gonna try to sell it at that stone, you're gonna sell it only for 100. So in the beginning, it's gonna be like, you know, it's not for you to get filthy rich with all the droppables, all the collectibles, consumables, and so on, but you can get something out of it, something out of the trash that you can't really reuse. So I think that's how we're gonna go. And then I was thinking that one thing that could be in synergy with it would be also a cartridge that, for example, raises the prices, the percentage of the price for how much you sell. So if by default you're selling for 50% worth of the price, and if you level this cartridge up, you're gonna sell at the first level for 65% of the price, and so on. That'd be interesting. Now I could either go this way with the cartridge, or I could go with some kind of an item, you know, like a ring or something. But I believe it's nice run shaper, so maybe cartridge. Yeah, I'm looking forward for your opinion. I really appreciate it, man. I read through it, I thought about it, and everything that you pointed out makes a total sense. Definitely. So thank you again so much. So, how's been your week, man? Everything good? Everything fine? Meanwhile, I'm gonna start the game and see where we left off. Before I started the stream, I was actually working on the Mockshot generator, because yeah, you know, the problem is when you're making a game for such a long time, you really get the narrow vision. Everything seems normal to you, and it's like that from the day one, and that kind of really narrows your vision. So it's always very helpful if somebody has fresh eyes and tells you about the things that should need improvement. So okay, if we go to the journal, weekend was smooth, thanks. Yeah, that's cool. Awesome to hear that. Okay, we have the recipes in here, so this is working from the Friday already. We've implemented this. Now what we're gonna add is this page here. So we're gonna have units and then journal. Journal is gonna be more or less triggered by reaching some special points in the game, like reaching a new biome, talking to a new NPC that stays with you here, and these are gonna be more for the mobs. So we're gonna focus the mobs today. And if I take a look at everything, oh, by the way, I was also thinking about a command come here, because sometimes I would like only for Gotar or companion to come to me, you know, wherever I am, if I'm in the fray, and if he comes to me, the command gets deleted and he can behave normally again. That's one thing that I was also thinking about, because I have the follow me command, but this one stays permanent. He can follow you for a while and, you know, he's gonna keep on following you, not attacking anything. So I was thinking about come here, you come to me, and then you do your own thing. Maybe that's gonna come in helpful as well. But, okay, now, if I go here and take a look at the unlockables, I wrote a generator that's also generating mock shots. So let me see if the mock shots are correctly placed in. These are the old ones. Some of ones that I don't need. Just a second. I think I also named them wrongly. And I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna delete, nuke all the old stuff, because the generator generates freshly new ones. See, this one, every generated one starts with mini. That's how I made it. It has the same name as the one in the texture I use. If I delete it, journal model, zombie mockshot PNG. Aha, this is the one I use for default. Okay. Let me just open it. Journal model. And in here, if we have this party that's ready for the display of the mock shot, journal entry description, where do I have mock shot? Mock shot frame, here you are, and here. And in here we have mock shot body, and I'm gonna keep you empty for now, so the script isn't gonna complain when I delete you. Like this, it goes away. Well, it's gonna be deleting for quite some time, I believe. We have more than 100 entries, or oh, just a second. I believe I had some cool bass. Yeah. I just hope that YouTube's not gonna complain about the music. I found this cool Lost in the Low End Groove Addicting Bass playlist. Something a bit different for the stream this time. If it's gonna be too much for this stream, just tell me. Okay, so it deleted everything. Now I have to open the generator, this one. And I'm gonna be looking at my diff checker. Boom. Okay, couple of errors. What happened now? Let me see if the frames are here. So, okay, mine mini slime mock shot. 1 second, I didn't have this error before. But the mock shots are created, okay. All the criminals. I have all the Ratmans, I have all the slimes. Monster slime, okay. This one is wrong. Mini giant slime mockshot. What's with you? I guess I don't have the dimensions set correctly. If I take a look, 240, 240 by 32. Yeah, it's okay. 240, 240 by 32. Huh. But am I missing animation here? No, it has idle animation. Something's wrong with this one. I'm gonna have to take a look what's going on. So that's first one that has an error in it. Mock shoot. This one okay. All the bandits seem to be correctly cut out. Bunnies. Dwarf. Okay. All of them are okay. Only the giant slime. What's with the giant slime? Slimy, what went wrong with you? Mini giant slime, you seem to be completely off. Huh. Okay. A small error that I'm gonna be tackling a bit later, probably. So if it's looking for an idle one, and it's taking this one, why? And you're 40. Hey, you should be 40 by 40. Or giant slime, 32. Yeah, okay. Mic is a little quiet. Anyway, you could increase the volume. Okay. Just a second. Let's see how it goes. Please tell me if you're gonna hear everything a bit louder now. Is it okay? A bit better, or still have to increase something? I just dragged this slider here for the mic. Maybe I have also other settings. We'll try it. I have it pretty close to my mouth, so this shouldn't be the problem. Then it has to be something else. I put the muffler away. Muffler, I know. I'm not sure if that's even a right word for it. You know, that wind stopper. If you're popping too much, if you're making windy sounds, that's one thing. But where's the mic? If I take a look at the mic settings, properties, I have only the device here. Lock volume filters, advanced audio properties. Then I have one more time. Not sure if now it's better. It's going all the way to the yellow. Please confirm if it's a bit better or not. Okay, good. That's good. Then let's start tackling the population of those thingies. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. Appreciate it. If I go to unlockables now, and we have unlockable controller, this one is responsible for unlocking everything. But if I take a look at the journal modal, this is where we filter stuff out regarding to the unlockables. I want to see how the logic goes again for the units or mobs or bestiary. I think it's bestiary, of course. This one, if I have you here on the button, I'm gonna look for the keyword bestiary. I populate it. This is for the focusing connections. And then I populate it, of course, here. So I go through all the unlockables and I take a look if the unlockable is unlocked and if it's of type bestiary. Makes sense? Makes sense. If it's from here, from this one, the condition is checked. Then I start adding it. So that's okay. But I have to add all the entries as an unlockable. So this is again a tedious work. And I believe that I could make script for this because this is really boring stuff. And if I'm gonna be doing this 60 times or 100 times, if we're gonna have so many units, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. And since I was working early on a script mockshot generator, I'm gonna just call this node tools or something like that. And what I'm gonna do here is when I'm gonna want to generate something or run a tool, a script inside the editor, I'm gonna open up this node and click generate and so on. And if I take a look at this in the file system, we're gonna have tools here. So it's not generator anymore, we're calling it tools. And then this one I'm gonna have a child also of a node. And the script is gonna be taken from this one to here. Paste. We can remove this one from here. And then I click here. And this one is for mockshot generation. And the second one is gonna be, I wonder if I have unlockable thingies related already in the resource itself. Resource. Unlockables. This one, do I have some buttons here? I have. Import unlockables, lock all translation keys. This is another tool that I use for checking all the keys that I have to translate. Do I do anything here? Just a second. Nothing comes out. Of course it comes. But I had it disabled, so that's okay. Now either this is getting really polluted, like polluted a lot. Maybe because it's related to the unlockable, I'm gonna group it under this resource. So this one's gonna stay here. Unlockables. I'm gonna take all of these things. Actually, I'm gonna leave them here, but I'm gonna add an export group called tools. And it'd be cool if I could somehow also end the group here, and I'm not sure if I can do this normally. And I'm gonna ask for the help here. If import unlockables, I wonder if export group can be ended somewhere sooner. I wonder if does it, or is it ended by the next one. Yeah, it's implicitly ended when another export group or export subgroup appears. So yeah. But maybe because of this reason, because I don't want to toggle things like, you know, close the stuff off and open them up thousands of times when I just want to add stuff. I'm gonna migrate the tools down, and I have now import unlockables button, lock translation keys button, and we're gonna add another one. Export tool button, and this one's gonna be called populate. Populate unlockables. Damn it. If I'm thinking about it, I don't want to unlock every unit and entry about the unit just like that. I have to also create somehow a condition that you need to achieve before you unlock it. So for example, now the simplest thing would be if you kill a zombie, you get an entry of it in the journal. You know, okay, I killed one zombie. Now I can read about it. That's okay. But then again, I could go in a way. You have to kill 10 zombies to learn more about the species. You know, like a mastery or something, or not sure. But for now, we're gonna keep it simple. An unlockable regarding the unit in the bestiary is gonna be related to killing only one unit. I think this is not gonna be complicating too much stuff now, in the beginning. And then we're gonna see how it's gonna go from there. But I could add here. So I'm gonna call it populate bestiary unlockables. Unit slash bestiary unlockables. And this is gonna be a function that we're gonna also call from here. Button, and almost the same name is gonna be for the function itself, only it's not gonna be titled button. Let's go down here, public void, and this is where we're gonna use the generation. Basically what I'm gonna add here, first I'm gonna I have to have multiple conditions here. I have a lot of units that I really don't want them to appear here. For example, I have a Trap Master. I know that you were wondering that sometimes, yeah. Yeah, agree, could be different tiers. You know, you were wondering where the XP travels when the unit dies. If he falls into the pit. There's actually a unit named Trap Master. And he's responsible for dealing damage to all the units that is being dealt by the nature. So the pit itself is Trap Master's weapon. And this Trap Master origin, he's stationary at 0, coordinate position, so the experience travels there. Yeah, and always in the upper left corner. So we're gonna have to tackle that one as well. Yeah, actually, inspiration for cleverness like that came from Bethesda, from Fallout 3. I know that they had some issues regarding implementing vehicles, like train rides and so on, and they fixed it in a way that instead of implementing the whole vehicle system, it was easier for them to have an NPC underneath the railroad to have a hat in the shape of the train. So when the player actually rides the train, he enters the NPC's hat and he's riding that. You know, everything is smoke and mirrors in the end. And that NPC is then just running around very quickly on the train tracks. So if I go here, populate bestiary, unlockables. So I'm gonna read all the units. I'm gonna take some stuff, inspiration from here. Mockshot generator. Units root. Definitely we're gonna be using these thingies here. This is gonna be instruction. With all the units. Then I want to see what I already have in unit data. I know that the player and anything like that isn't assigned here yet, but I know that I have a flag if it's a companion or not. So the companions, I'm not sure if I'm gonna add them to the bestiary. Or maybe it should be. Maybe they should be. Maybe. I have a couple of flags here, like a faction, if it's a flying one, boss, leader, companion. Okay, we're gonna keep it simple for now. I'm sure I'm gonna have to remove a lot of trash units because I have a lot of test units, but for conditional I can add in if the unit name is or ID is Trap Master, we ignore it. Because I'm not sure if I have really any other such a special unit case. Just a second, if we have units here. Yeah, we have roamers, we have different instances. For example, I have Gotthard that appears in the camp, that appears in tutorial. So those are a couple of instances that are separate. So the most precise way will be if it appears in bestiary. And by default they will. So we're gonna have to unflag them. We're gonna add is in bestiary. Or just appears. One of the things that bothers me, everything with the Boolean, I start with is. So, yeah, is in bestiary. Did I spell it correctly? Or appears in bestiary? Bestiary. How is it pronounced? I'm gonna have to listen to it. Okay. By default, we're gonna say true. And then we're gonna go through the units that I don't want them to appear there. That's gonna be the smoothest way. I'm gonna have to untick a couple of them, and that's gonna be it. Well, we've been messing a lot with dictionaries recently, so usually Godot with C#. I mean, sometimes it knows how to hang up in that case. So what we're gonna do is appears in bestiary, Alpha Wolf, yes, Anton Camp, no. Anton Romer, no. Archlich, yes, Bandit, Bandit Brute, Crossbowman, all of the bandits, Bear, Big Slime Boar, Boss Golem. I think this one doesn't because it's a bit differently named. Or Bring Camp, no. Bring Companion. We'll see. Let's keep the companions in for now. Zap, okay. Camp, not. Bunny, sure. Demon Destroyer, yes. Dwarf Hunter, of course, but I don't have him anywhere. Maybe inside the cavernous depths there could be a unit that you can save and he would follow you for a while. A Dwarf Hunter. I'll have to work on him. Evil Eye. Yes. I bet. You know what? I'm gonna leave these out for now. Ice Stinger, of course. Ghoul, yes. Giant Threat, yes. Slime. Goater Coldbeard. No. Not in the camp and not in the tutorial. The companion one. Also not this one. Izzy Camp, no. Izzy Roamer, of course. Or Izzy Camp? Izzy Camp. Roamer is the one that you meet there. Yes, then the Roamer is gonna be the first one you interact with. World not. No. Yes. Trent, of course. Max, that's the player, no. And Max knocked out, no. Misha was a bear, friendly ally bear. Monster Slime, of course. Mutant Slime, Rat. All the rats, Rock Golem also. So the Skeleton, Slime, Snap, Snip, Spiked Ghoul. Slime, Spawn Slime. Doesn't have to. Trap Master. You're the reason? Nope. Maybe he could. And Mugshot would be only the question marks. Wolf. Yes, Zombie, Zombie Butcher and Crusher. You guys all appear. So, that's okay. The unit has a flag. Set to false. We skip it. Then in the next position, what we're gonna do is, we have special cases. Like Snip and Snap. They aren't ever spawned as enemies, they're spawned more like allies. And their condition wouldn't be like you have to... okay. Because I had a separate condition. For example, either you kill a unit and then we can trigger the unlock, or instead of only killing the unit, I can have kill or interact with it. That'd be a clever way. Sometimes cleverness is okay, but sometimes it's gonna be a shot in the foot. But let's risk our foot for now. Then, okay. First we're gonna clear all unit unlockables. And we're gonna number it. Doesn't make any sense. Because the order might change. So clear all unit unlockables, read all the units. If the unit has a flag appear in bestiary set to false, we skip it. We create new unlockable of type unit. Resource here. And I want to see, do I have unlockable of a unit already created as an example? Units is 0, of course I don't. Never mind. Then I'm gonna take the example from the recipe. I always add suffix recipe at the end. So new unlockable of type unit, and assign ID that we get from the unit data resource ID, and suffix it with unit. We assign value ID to the unit ID from unit data. Then I think we could take away the I have translation keys like similar in the recipes here. We add title to the unlockable, like unlockable title zombie unit. Zombie unit, that's what's gonna have to be added. What else do I need? Unlock conditions, of course. We create and add a new unlock conditions. Unlock condition. Resource of a type. I wanna just see which types do I have here. Yeah. Kill or interact with. I mean, I could keep this more simpler if for the NPCs that I have, I add journals, entries in the journal itself. But then again, in the journals, I don't have a nice portrait, mugshot. And that's kind of bothering me. Unlock condition resource. So I have that count unlock condition resource. Or interacted with. Huh. How would I trigger interacted with? Would I have to track in? Of course I'd have to track. Crying out loud. That means that I have to create again a separate array where I store stuff in the profile resource. Or simply I could improve the unit stats info by unit ID, because currently, and the last time I started doing this, I was saving all sorts of stuff. So regarding every unit that we're gonna save and store in the servers, we're gonna have the information about time skilled by, total damage dealt, total damage taken by, total healing received, total healing done, total time alive. What the fuck did I mean with this one? Okay, we still didn't tackle this one because we were tackling the ones with the items, but I'm gonna use these ones. Time skilled by, total damage dealt, total damage taken. Now see, naming, I've named it 8 months ago, and I'm not sure if this means total damage taken, I mean dealt to me or to anybody else. Yeah, probably. And taken, yeah. So the unit that we kill, here we have how many damage this unit did take. This is a cool metric. Total healing received and total healing done. So if somebody was healing this unit, we would like to also increment this one. And total healing done. And here I'm saving ints, and the last time we have item stats info, we've turned this to the long ones. Because the ints, in theory, it would be hard for them to overflow, but still, let's be future proof. And I did some research, and the longs would last until the universe collapses. We wouldn't fill them out. So, public long, total time alive. What we gotta do here? Why do I have this total time alive? This isn't really making any sense. Probably I'm gonna nuke it out. Okay. Of course, we're gonna have here times interacted. Talk, like in the case of snip, snap, or traveling NPC. Total time alive, this is gonna go away. No sense. Okay. Now we gotta increment this one. Maybe for clarity reasons I could pull it a bit higher, like this. And time skilled. I check this thingy only here. But do I increment it? Huh. Okay. Guys, just one thing. Nature calls me. I gotta go drop the load. So be right back. Thanks for the prayers, man. It means a lot. The problem is I always have like a ceremony when I go in the morning. You know, shortly after the coffee kicks in, that's a ceremony, and that's probably always also the time that I take a shower and everything, so my hiney clean. Okay, let's see. Did I disable that? I did. So now we have this that I'm looking at here, and I'm looking at time skilled by. Yeah, that's always in the context of the player, time skilled by player. I should probably name it time skilled by player. But then again, what if Gotor kills it? Yeah, okay, time skilled. Let's say by the player teams, by the player's team. So I'll have a comment. The player's team. Actually, I'm gonna also name it like that. Time skilled by the player's team. Doesn't make sense because I could have multiple players, you know? Oh. By the humans player. Struggling all the time with naming. Total damage dealt. Okay, that's how much damage it gave to me. Then we have total damage taken. How much damage this unit dealt to other units. I'm doing this cheat for future me. Has taken by the others. Healing this unit. What the fuck? Total healing received, total healing done. What was I doing here? Not sure if grammatically correct, but total healing dealt. Keep the naming the same. Total healing taken. Unit provided to the others. This unit got from the others. Okay. Times interacted with. Now we increment this when we interacted with it, like if we talk to it, and so on. Okay. If I go here to the time skilled by, that's okay. First, let's implement time skilled and time skilled by. So this is gonna be in the I think I have the unit that state. That unit state. But do I have the reference to the killer here? I'm not sure. I believe that I have only killer in the health system. Killer. No, actually, I have a global event for that I track also. Events controller. unit killed, destroyed, unit died. Oh, naming. Where do I subscribe to you? Hot controller, level scenario, loot controller, arena wave, Didra, level itself. This is where we're gonna subscribe to it. Okay, but I'm exiting here early. We're gonna split this one into an early exit if the unit itself is invalid. Wait, just a second. I had it this like, if it's valid. Okay. I go away. Do I have a leak here? I think this is a leak. I don't remove it, huh? As instance valid unit, and if it doesn't reward you XP, I don't return it from the list. Huh. I don't remove it. Un piccolo momento. I think yes. If I go here. So the summoned units won't be removed from the unit list. This is gonna need some refactoring. Scrappy dappy. We're gonna say that if we have a valid unit, and then if we have valid killer, killer unit. Ah, to hell with it. This is just the boilerplate. Unit team. Unit team, unit team, unit team. If it's instance valid unit, and I try to return it if it's false, that's not okay. So if I go here, if both things are valid, valid unit and valid killer, I get the experience from this. That's okay. And I don't return from this part. Huh. See, the only problem I have is that I return false if I'm not rewarding experience. So what do I have you here? I should have you here, like that. If I reward you, And maybe here I could have an early check. Equals to false. Or valid killer. False, I return. And then I don't have to do the checks anymore. I take this one only. And I think this could be good now. I don't invalidate it anywhere before, I believe. Or do I? I'll have to check it out. Come on, ducky. Help me out here. Just a second. Of course, the killer shouldn't be the stoppage. It shouldn't be the stoppage, of course not. Yeah. Good thing that I have a talking ducky that helps me. Because I would introduce a new bug when I shouldn't have. And now what we can do is we can handle increments here. See here I check if valid killer and unit team, if we have a valid killer and unit team isn't one. Unit team comes from the selected player. This condition is hard to interpret. This should be a Boolean check normal. Of course, was killed by player. And here we can now replace this mess that doesn't tell us a lot with passing in the unit and killer unit. And it's much better now, much more readable. So if was killed by player, then we increment enemies killed up and total enemies killed also up in the current profile. That's like a permanent stat we have. So that's okay. Now also in the current profile, we'd have to increment the correct unit stat info resource. And that's what we're gonna do. Because if I go to item info, I I check it under here. This is regarding the crafting. See, I increment stuff here. No, not this one. This one. Flare profile, item pickup count unlock, not this one, not this one. Here I have update item stat. I should have also a similar check. Update unit stat. Okay. Stat. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Boiler plating true. And we got this saved in the player profile controller. This is where I increment stuff and I subscribe to stuff here, and we're gonna do the same thing for the kills here, because I have item used, item crafted, item picked up. We're gonna have unit killed, unit healed, or something like that. That'd be the cleanest way. And if we have update item stat, we can save this as a region. Item stat. Unit stats. Okay. First one comes in here. And update stat is this action, where I pass in the arrow functions themselves. And that's okay. This is how I handle the dictionaries. So basically it's the same mumbo jumbo I had before. But now, instead of subbing in here, we fixed the leakage here. So we're removing all the instances that shouldn't be already in the list. We had a big bug when the summoned units wouldn't be removed from the list, and they would clutter the list themselves. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna check the events, because in the player profile, this is where we track this stuff. It makes sense. We're not gonna track it in the level. We're gonna track it like we did on Friday, right here. So this is item related stuff, unit related, and we're gonna try to take all the events that are here, and we're gonna be subbing to global events controller, unit spawned, No, unit died. But we could also count the spawn rate. That's also a good thing, and it wouldn't cost us a lot. Yeah, let's do it. Why the hell not? Unit stat. It's gonna be cool to visualize this thing. Public long time spawned equals to 0. Let's keep it the same at the property level. And you really don't need explanation too much. But we can add you up here as the first one, since you're the first one that occurs. On unit spawned. And then we're gonna have unit died. And the died event's gonna filter all the stuff out. Okay. Huh. Should I track every single damage hit? That could be very expensive. Maybe for now I'm not gonna increment anything. Because at the end of the run I could calculate how much damage has been done to it. Basically I just look up the unit data, how much its max health, multiply it, how many times it was killed, and from that I could take out these damage numbers. Yeah, these are the computable values, don't need to really store them. Times killed by times killed, that's okay. Times interacted with, okay. Damage dealt, damage taken. Yeah, damage taken is gonna only occur on the player, so that one is okay. And the healing also isn't that important for now. I mean, I can leave the columns in, the properties for now. And in the future, if I'm gonna be doing some stuff, I'm gonna be incrementing them. The only thing that I'm gonna do now is I'm not gonna subscribe to these events. I'm not gonna track them, but the data is gonna be there. Ready, the properties. So, if we go back to the player profile, and if we go unit spawned, unit died. Unit spawned, unit died. That's the only two that we need for now. So let's go underneath this one. Here. So we have private void on unit spawned, and we take in the unit. And we have another private void on unit died, and here we have unit and unit killer unit. So what we do is we call this function now, update unit stat, where I pass in unit data resource. Maybe we could add the instance valid checks. If is instance valid unit, same thing is gonna be here. The killer isn't that important for now, but I mean, it's gonna be important if we're gonna track it for the player condition. Yeah, we're gonna do that as well. But now for the update unit stat, we have to pass in unit data, and then we have an arrow function, and the arrow function takes an action of a type let me see, can I do this like that? S, and as time spawned plus plus. Good. That's the first one when we spawn. And then here we just increase times times killed. Because the times killed now, currently I don't filter out if the killer was the player. It's just kill if it's killed. Should I filter it out if it was killed by player? I think yeah, it's worthy to have a distinction between these two things. It's worthy to make it good. Times killed. I mean, I could have times died and times killed, and that would be only times died would be like a general. Times it died, no matter who the killer was. And then we would have times killed. Times killed, times killed. The naming of this, oh my god. Yeah, of course. This is gonna be refactored. And simply let's keep it simple. So we have unit ID, then we have times spawn, that's okay, times died. Kind of, maybe I could only have deaths. I don't use it anywhere yet. Now this one is self-explanatory. How many times this unit died. Then times killed by, this would be kills. How many units this unit killed. Times killed. Let's make it more. Times spawn, that's times killed. Times killed is bad. You see the naming, if I would name it player kills, I would mean that, for fuck's sake, if I would call it player kills, it could mean that how many times it killed player, or how many times it was killed by the player. Come on. Grammar bots, help me out. Now it's coming up with times defeated. Times killed by player. So I could have, let's do it like this. Times killed by player. Times died. So we have times spawn, times died, times killed by player. Times killed other units. Times killed times killed the player. So I have times killed by player, times killed other units, times killed by times killed by player, times killed other units, times killed the player. This is very similar, times killed by and times killed by, times killed the player. But if I'm reading it correctly, it should be okay and understandable from the property name now. And then I have total damage taken and dealt, and total healing dealt, and total healing taken. That's okay. Do I like this now? Times killed by player, times killed other units, times killed the player. Yeah, it's self-explanatory, and if I'd remove all the comments I should still be able to understand it. Sorry again for this taking such a long time, but yeah, kind of important to have a good naming for everything you do, because future self is gonna love you. Okay. Times killed by player, times killed other units, times killed the player. Yeah, of course. You know, it's really pain in the ass to change the variable names once you have the saves and everything already in place. Then you have to remap you have to make some kind of a save merger and so on. Don't want to waste too much time on that, because I'm already in the time strained, like a big one. So okay, now we finally have this. I have time spawn, okay. Player profile. In here I was doing unit spawned and unit died. That's okay. Time spawned, times killed by player. This one isn't correct. I'm gonna add first one, just times died. And then we're gonna check if the killer itself, if is instance valid killer unit equals to false. There I have a wrong condition. We're gonna return, but if it's valid, we can say that if is instance, if the killer unit AI equals to false, we add this one. And before that, we can also add one thingy. So we increment time skilled by player if the AI was false, but if the AI is true, I can simply add the else here. You know, we're updating the killer's data itself, the unit that was dying. First we're updating that unit that died. So we're looking at the times died, times killed by player, and so on. And now I also want to update the killer's data. How many things he killed. So here we have killer unit data resource. And times killed other units plus. So for example, if a bear attacks in a camp bandit, his stuff should be incremented as well in the stats that we keep the track of. Makes sense? I think it does. Yeah, it should be making sense. Let me just double check it. This one is checking if the killer unit wasn't AI. If it was AI, we're incrementing it. And for the safety reasons, I'm gonna put all the numbers here regarding the deaths. We're incrementing times died. That's true. We're incrementing times killed by player, times killed other units. We're incrementing that. And times killed the player. This one still has to be here. So if it's an AI and if the unit itself is AI equals to false, so if the unit died isn't AI, it means that we still have to update this one. And we take the killer unit data and we also increment times kill the player. Yeah. Okay. This one should be working now. Now let's see if it's subscribed to event. It is. And the other one is subscribed to the spawn. And this one is only incrementing the spawn. Okay, first we're gonna test this. I'm gonna try to pull up the profile slot I have. And then here the save slot is getting a bit more polluted, we could say. But I'm tracking now everything. Like Rusty Sword, I used it 183 times. Shrapnel Shot Room, okay. And here. And then at the run end, I can submit all the data to the server. And I have the stats there if something is being very used, not used as much, and so on. So for now, let's just run it. And we're gonna be looking the time skilled by player. If it's gonna change. Oh my lord. We have an error somewhere. Long to end conversion, of course. This is now, I mean, this should be int now. I mean, new long. And I wonder if I have any conditions. No, not yet. So time skilled by player. Total kills. Like this. Come on, why don't you go away? You long and long, do I have the different ones? I had only longs, right? Long. But unit data? No. Unit info. I have long, okay. You long, I'll sign long, I don't need that one. But this one is good. Now, I think it shouldn't be complaining anymore. Okay, I'm gonna keep the code on the side, the profile opened, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Let's go kill some units. Elderglade Forest. Here comes Snip. Bunny Wabbit. Okay, a couple of units died. Soon we're gonna do Harikiri. Come on. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. Time skilled by player 1. Time skilled by player 2. Bandit kills other units 1. Probably he killed a bunny rabbit. So we have the tracking working, I believe. Now, time skilled the player. This one is bothering me and it's not saved. Huh. Then I have to track it in a bit different place. I'm tracking that somewhere else. But it's important to keep the track of the killers of the player, so I'd know, okay, which one is giving really rough time to the units, I mean to the players. And of course, Mr. Godot died. Okay. Events controller. Do I have player died? Player died event handler. Okay, do I miss somewhere this? Or is something that's... Aha, player died. This is the one we're gonna be subscribing to. But how? If I have player died, I don't get the killer. Let's see, health system. I'm a diet event. If unit AI, I am a die event. But what happens if the player dies? Where do I handle this? Health increased. God mode, no. AI equals false. Where do I check this? Do I check it anywhere? Take damage? No. No. Just a second. The unit itself. This is the ready function and its systems. Subscribing to events. Nothing in particular here. Let's see. Player died event handler. You're the one that need it. Where do I emit you? In the health system, of course. If unit player died isn't equals null, okay. I emit this event. But I should also emit last attacker. It would make sense. Of course it would. Okay. We're changing the signature here. Unit. Killer unit. And where do I consume this event? In here. Unit. Killer unit. I don't have to use the prop anywhere, but do I still use it somewhere else? No, but now we're gonna go to the profile controller and we're gonna say in the subscription itself that we're gonna have not unit spawned, unit died, global events controller player died. This. We're going a bit lower. And we get in the player itself. killer unit. We're just gonna save keep if the killer is instance valid killer unit, and if it's not, we're gonna say that if it is, we update unit stat. And the unit stat update it's gonna be, we can split this one away. Yeah, and this is a good one. I believe it should be fixed. So if we start again, and if we don't have any errors, we're gonna go to the Elderglade Forest, gonna get ourselves killed, and then we should have, of course we have an error, because why wouldn't we have an error? I can just add null. Okay. Elderglade Forest. Oh, there's a bear den down there. I guess the bear is attacking Snip. Okay. Ooh. The boar has been slain here. Whoa, la, 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 la. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Profile slot 1. And here we have. It's working. Time skill the player. Yay. Now we're tracking stuff. Ooh, but a lot of errors. What happened here? I think this is from earlier, right? This didn't happen from the start. Just a second. I want to see if something's going on the runtime that splits the errors. Yep, something spits them out. Who is loading this? Sprites Minivolf Mugshot. Would I have it? Do I try to load this somewhere in particular? 631. Yeah, let's take a look at it. $631. If it's null or empty, unit data if it's not null or empty. And but how the hell? 1 second. Ah, portraits instead of mugshots. I have a portrait saved here. Huh. That's a completely different thing. Mugshot and a portrait. I shouldn't be mixing those. Because the portrait is for companions that I have up in the left corner. And the mugshot is for bestiary. Mini bear mugshot. One second. Huh. Houston, we have a problem. I'll be damned. Huh. Because unit data, I have only portrait, right? No mugshot. Yes. Oh. Mugshot texture name. And then the tool itself that was used for this is mugshot generator portrait. This isn't good. I should have this one here. Do I have anywhere portrait? No, I don't. I can save it now. Kill everything, rebuild it, try to re-import it, and then for the 3 companions I have to use the separate portraits that I've used. Otherwise this isn't gonna be loaded correctly. Oh. So what I have to do now, everything was set for a portrait. I'd kind of have to undo for all the units I have here. Yeah, let's do it. Discard. Can I multi-select it? I can. Awesome. Anton Camp. Let's see if they are all units. Okay. So far so good. I have all units here. Snip, snap, so on. Okay. At least I think I didn't select any other scene that shouldn't be reverted. So yeah, let's discard it. 60 changes, this is irreversible, of course. I like to live on the dangerous side now. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna build it. Run the tool again. I think it generated something. The mugshot has been generated, but now I have to see the portraits. Okay, portraits are here. And I just have to reuse them. Like for Lilith. Where are you, little girl? Portrait. Okay, the portraits have been saved. Yeah, and so was for all the other companions, I believe. Visuals, portrait. Yeah, that's good. And we have a separate one for a mugshot, right? We do. Okay. Now, regarding the loader, if I load all the portraits and everything, I should also do the same thing for the mugshot. I do it. 6 months ago I was thinking about it. Okay, Philip, pat yourself on the back. Bestiary entries, I load them all. Actually, this isn't gonna work correctly because I have it set on the bestiary entry instead of the unit data. So no more petting. We're gonna do it this way. Mugshot texture name. I only use you. And here, I don't want to have locations regarding the unit at 1,000 places. So mugshot isn't gonna have mugshot texture name anymore. We're gonna move this back to the unit data, so everything gets from that. The only thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load it in this array where I have the textures by names and so on at the beginning. So let's fix this one. Mugshot. 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 Okay, I don't have anywhere portrait anymore. So you can go away. At least I think you can go away. Yes, you can. Ah, error. This one, huh? Sneaky little word. Going away. And let's see how dependent you are on everything else. I still have you in the bestiary entry, that's normal. And I've deleted you from here, that's okay. Player, this one I have in the merger. I don't need merge saved and static data anymore regarding this one. This is an old system I had for this. But I still have some references. You know what, I'm gonna delete you. Get away. Populate bestiary. Not captured entity. Do I have somewhere unit data? I'm gonna look for unit data because the unit data represented by this one is gonna be, let's see, ratatatata. Data resource. I don't have unit data anywhere yet, or no, I don't. Simple, but global unit game controller unit data by units by ID, this one, and then I take what's your name? Where are you? I'm looking for not entry title, captured entry, this one I believe. Captured entry, value, no. Just a second. I'm gonna take its ID. Journal. Unit data. And like this. So I can go nuke that one from here away. Well, let's see how many things explode. Some of them should. Ah, Mr. Crash. Okay. If I check it out now, if it builds, I mean, I should be splitting the value ID and the ID of the entry resource itself, I believe. Am I using the same ones? Yes, I'm using the same ones. Unlockables has this a bit better. Better contracts between the resources. What I do here, item description. For example, if I take a look at the recipe itself, recipes. Yeah, I use the same. Product item ID. I use the same one, so it would be good that I have bestiary. Entry resource, that I'd have unit ID. Do I have a string name or yeah, string name unit ID. And I'm gonna use this one as a reference everywhere else. So where was I using you? I was using you in the journal. And this one isn't okay anymore. I'm gonna use this one. Because by that I know that this ID is solely related to the unit ID and nothing else. I have separate IDs. Sometimes they're necessary, sometimes they aren't, but I want to keep them decoupled. Now. Okay. Let's build some stuff. Okay, nothing died. It's still working. Okay, now let's think about it. I was working on this system because I wanted to track how many units we killed, or we have to have an interact condition. Now I still have to use the increment in the interaction themselves. So I wired the times I kill something, I increment stuff, times it killed me, and so on. But now I have to also wire when I interact with something. Huh. And I have this in a dialog system. Yeah, and dialog system can belong to the unit itself. Let's see, I know that there was some black magic here a long time ago, 5 months since 11 months from time to time. Yeah. First, let's see the events we have. Events controller, dialog started. Dialog started event handler, and I have dialog initiator unit and dialog target unit. That's perfect. If it's being called correctly at the correct events, then this is perfect. I'm just gonna sub to it in the profile controller. And we're gonna wire it in here. Global events controller, dialog started, plus on dialog. If we go a bit lower, private void, we pass in these params. Okay. And I don't care about the first one, second one, I only care about the target. If is instance valid equals to false. And if dialog target unit AI is false. I don't know how I would be interacting with myself, but still, let's keep it safe. Then I update unit stat. I pass in dialog initiator, no, dialog target unit, unit data resource, and we pass in this arrow method where we increment the times that we've interacted with it. Times interacted with. Okay. Now, let's test it out. I think it should work. If we're gonna interact with anybody in our camp, like for example Gotar, Snip, outside of it, it's gonna be recorded. Okay, so this should be recorded somewhere. Let me see, it's gonna save now. Profile slot 1. It wasn't saved anywhere. Oh my god. Bunny! Oh, big bad horsey. Okay, let's meet our fate. Okay. Times interacted with. No, it didn't get triggered. Times interacted with didn't get triggered. What am I doing wrong in here? Let's see. Profile controller. So if I don't have a valid target. Okay, first I'm gonna start it through Visual Studio Code and see even if this event reaches here. Because if it doesn't reach it, then we have something else on our mind. Target unit, this one was, I think, the problem. I think I found the problem, but still, okay. Let's run it through the through the studio code. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't pause yeah, that's one of the problems. It doesn't pause anything. If you open if you have a dialog and if you open the shop, the game pauses. But if you're talking with somebody, the world still keeps on going. It's a risky move, I think, yeah, because if you start with somebody and somebody wants to attack you, you're screwed. I should pause it probably, right? But then again, I have to see if I have anything dependent on the dialogue and the tutorial and so on. You know, because sometimes I move the characters while the dialogue is active. And if I'd be pausing stuff then... Yeah, trade screen pauses. You know, the issue is if I have a cutscene and if I want to move a lot of things and if you know what I mean. If I talk with somebody in a cutscene, I still want the game to be running. For example, I'm talking with somebody and then an actor comes in and he still moves. Maybe I should have two conditions. If you're talking with somebody in Overworld and if it's not a cutscene, then it pauses. But if it's a cutscene, it shouldn't pause. Yeah, definitely to keep something in mind, because this can be very, very bad. Okay, just a second. Why isn't it running it? I press the start. Usually, the code started the game through pressing F5, and now it doesn't. What? Not test level. I had usually a different one. Okay, now this is a bit weird. Let me just reload the window. Chat request is in progress. What kind of chat? I'm not chatting with you. With Copilot. I've disabled this plugin like a couple of months ago. Oh my god. Dude, thanks for coming on stream again. Yeah, you're welcome, you're welcome. Thanks for hanging out, man. And again, thank you very much for the feedback. Grab those Z's. Get some well rest and see you next time. Now let's see if it's gonna start. F5. Okay, it's not auto starting. Huh? Why not? Start debugging, F5. I've pressed F5. And usually if I close it, it automatically attaches itself and it starts. And now you don't want to do anything. I have only one error, but this one isn't breaking anything. Why you do this to me, code? Why you gotta treat me so bad? Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Okay. Visual Studio Code debug won't start. F5.4. Suddenly stopped working. Why? I didn't change anything. A couple of times the editor crashed, but I restarted everything. VS Code launch. I didn't touch this anywhere. I have the paths and everything correctly. Setup. Code flags. No, my normal home paths, etc. Recreate the debug config. I don't have to recreate this one. Let's see. Let something change. Nothing really. Alrighty. I'm gonna try it just for testing purposes now directly through here. Then I'm gonna be looking off stream what's going on exactly with launching it. Okay, if I talk to Mr. Gotar, this interaction should be recorded now. As soon as we enter different area, the save should trigger. I'm gonna take a look at the profile. Let's get in here. Yes, it did. So it recorded Goater Coalbeard Camp interacted with 1. Good. Very good. Now, the groundwork for populating bestiaries should be done. Now I just need to make the unlockables. And for the unlockables, we're gonna use the tooling script that I started to work in the morning. And that's gonna be an unlockables resource. This is where we left off. We have generator. What? Mockshot generator. Okay. So this pedaled code regarding this, it's generating stuff, okay, but now I have two complicated things. Either I can have interaction as a hit, incremented, that's gonna be applied too many times. I don't want that. So we have conditions, unlock condition, like kill count. And here I have required kills for a certain unit ID. And when I'm gonna be generating, I'm gonna use this to look up from the player profile resource if anything's been matched and so on. yeah. Since I'm alone now, I'm gonna work on this a bit offline. I still have to go eat something and so on. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow in the morning. I'll finish this. It's a bit more or less of a boring work, but it has to be done. So thanks for staying in, guys. Bye.